Yeah, check 1 2, check 1 2. Is this mic on? Is this mic on? Hey, listen, man. It's the one and only trendsetter DJ Sense, and you're listening to Cocktales. Dirty discussions with Kiki and Medinah Monroe. Yeah.
Today's cocktail is called Depressed Pussy. The ingredients you need to make the depressed pussy is 3 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of vodka, a ½ ounce of Lillet Blanc. The way you're going to make the depressed pussy is you're going to combine all the ingredients in a mixing glass with ice and stir until it's well chilled. Garnish with a lemon twist, and then don't be depressed, but enjoy your depressed pussy.
Wow. Welcome back to Cocktales Dirty Discussions, you guys. I am Kiki Said So.
Hey, y'all. I'm Medinah Monroe.
And welcome back. I hope that you guys enjoyed last week's episode. I do want to remind everybody to sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/cocktales, and make sure you check out the description box below for links to everything, all of the sponsors, everything we have going on. There's trips coming up, all sorts of things, so make sure y'all check it out.
And this week we have another guest. It is just a feminine week. We have, I love her, Divine Soul. She does womb work, shadow work. They call you the shadow healer.
They do.
We got questions because some people don't know what that is. Make some noise for Divine Soul.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, ladies.
Thank you for coming.
That was cute.
Really excited to have you. This is another person that I met on a Paradise and Vibe retreat. The Tulum one specifically has been my favorite. She hosted one of the workshops, and it was an incredible workshop. First of all, you followed behind Elizabeth Gilbert, and it was just as incredible.
Tough act to follow.
But you did it, and it just her spirit, her soul, everything that you taught us, the conversations that you had everybody in, and we talked about it for the rest of the trip. It was enough for me to hit up Kiki and be like, "Girl, I met this lady." I didn't call you a lady. I said Divine Soul, and she was like, "What does she do?" I was like, "I'm just going to send you her page so you can get a feel." And now we have her on the show. So let people know a little bit about you, Divine.
Girlfriend, I mean, you said a lot. I'm very grateful for that introduction also. So yeah, they call me the shadow healer specifically because I'm a mirror. Mm-hmm. I'm a mirror, which means I show people who they are, whether they're ready to see it or not. Mm-hmm. You know, kind of like a truth teller. The truth about shadow work is that it's understanding what lies beneath the surface, your unconscious, the things that you may not know about yourself, or the things that are in your blind spot just out of your awareness, you know. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes we don't really get to bring awareness to this until we see it on another person, you know. So being that mirror, I'm able to help people understand things about themselves that they wouldn't have seen otherwise, you know. Mm-hmm. Could be a scary thing, you know. So then dance, you know, being that the womb healer, dance is a way to transmute some of what comes up in the darkness. So it all ties together. Very beautiful little package: shadow work, womb healing, and dance manifestation.
I still have so many more questions about that, but we're going to play a quick game of I'm Curious to Know before we learn more about what exactly all of that is.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so you guys, I'm Curious to Know. If you're new here, I'mCuriousToKnow.com is where you can purchase it. It is our conversation card game. So we have a couple of questions, and we're going to ask them, and you have to answer truthfully. There's no way out.
Okay, I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Okay.
Don't be nervous. I'll give you an easy one to start off.
Okay.
Who is your celebrity crush?
Oh, wow, I thought I would have something sitting on deck. I guess Miss Badu would be my celebrity crush.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and she doesn't really feel like a celebrity to me. She just feels like such like auntie. Mm-hmm. Like I can just pick up my phone and call her. It's not true. Yeah,
you said it like it was.
I mean, but that's how it feels. You know, it's how it feels. Actually, people in my team are very close with her, so I'm just waiting on that tea date with auntie. But that would be like
6 degrees of separation. You're probably very
Isn't
close.
it less? That was like before social media, I feel like.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I'm like, now we like a DM away.
Okay, Miss Divine Soul, next one. I'm curious to know, why did your last relationship end?
Oh, girl. You went all up in my business real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay.
It's the game.
Okay. Okay, well, that's cute. My last relationship ended because I could not keep up with 2 men. So I was dating 2 men, actually, at the same time. And they were building a brotherhood because that was something I hadn't done before. You know, I'd done the sister wife, whatever, the other girl. I've done everything but an exclusive relationship. So I'm looking forward to that one day. But yeah, I had one guy I was dating and I liked him a lot. And then there were just areas where he wasn't really meeting the bar. And I said to myself, like, do I really need to make a decision and X you out, or can I keep you and add something in? You know, it was different. It was a different thought. We talked about it and he was like, yeah, I think it would be cool to have like another man around, someone I could grow and learn from. And then you get all of what you need. So then we brought someone else. Yeah. And then it didn't, that's a lot of energy to manage.
I bet.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
There's 2 men, I would be exhausted.
It was exhausting.
But you had to over-explain yourself a lot.
Whose idea was it to end it? Yours or his?
One of them was actually long distance. And so the one that was local, it was his idea because I went to visit the one that was long distance and he could feel that we were connecting in ways that I'm sure didn't feel great to him energetically. And when I came back to Mexico, he was like, yeah, I think, you know, maybe the two of you want to explore that exclusively. And I'm like, yeah, cool. We'll do that.
Bye.
I think that was his polite way of like stepping down. Like, I cannot handle this.
Yeah.
Respect.
That's a lot.
Okay. So what do you consider cheating?
Dishonesty. Yeah, I'm not one to like, I'm not a possessor of people. People cannot be possessed, you know. I mean, they shouldn't be. And you have a lot of folks that want to control dynamics. So then cheating to them is just like, oh, I can't control you, you know. To me, it's like, I give you like all this free space to be who you are and you can't keep it real with me. Yeah.
Did you have to grow to that point to get to a point where it's like, you don't own the person?
I want to like it's so many levels to that, right? And nuance, because I remember being like in grade school and I had this mantra as a kid, you know, you don't own him. Like if you like him and he likes me too, like what's the problem? You know, it's his obligation is to you. Mine isn't, you know? So if he wants to like me also, then like we can all just be one big happy family. And that was like a young girl. Shadow work taught me that some of that was very toxic. A lot of it was from like an unhealed space, insecurity, you know, not knowing my worth. It was like a lot of nuance to that. Through healing, I've circled back around to like, yeah, girl, you don't own him.
You back where you started.
You know, but just from a different perspective.
That's interesting.
Yeah, this is
You have
levels.
another one?
I have one. This is the last one. How important is sex in a relationship to you?
Yeah. Sex in a romantic relationship is very important. You know, if we're together in that kind of way, I want to be together in that way often, a lot, you know. And if we're together and it's not good, that would present some challenge. You know, we will have to talk about it. I want to know like why I'm not satisfied and what you're going to do about it. And then like if we need to supplement.
What can we do? I can't live this way, baby.
And I won't, you know. But then in my single life, I'm not having sex, you know. And so it's like I'm either or. It's on or it's off, you know. Yeah, it's very much like that.
When you're single, no sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting.
But you know what? Actually, it's not. Because when we get into some of this, what we're about to talk about, me knowing you now, it does make sense.
Yeah.
You talk about creating those sacred, sensual places. And I guess you can't just be doing that and busting it open with any and everybody.
You can't. And then I don't want to tell a lie because, you know, I like to be honest, you know. And so I have had sex in my single life, you know, but it is very intentional. It's very sacred. And in those moments, it's not like, I'm not feeling like a single woman because in that moment, that is a marriage and that's understood, you know, so.
I feel that.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear more about that. Before we talk to Divine Soul more, we are going to get into weird sex.
You said a man is not a necessity, a man is a luxury.
Like dessert. Yeah. A man is absolutely not a necessity.
Did you mean that to sound mean and bitter?
Oh, not at all. I adore dessert. I love men. I think men are the coolest. But you don't really need them to live.
So this week's Weird Sex is about a very toxic relationship that ends with jail. So somebody does something that's really bad, and if you don't want to hear, just skip ahead like 3 minutes. Okay. So this girl, she was 17 when she did this. Her and her boyfriend had been in this toxic relationship for like a few years. He was 20, she was 17. Well, one day shit hit the fan. They were in the car. Do you know that she drove into a concrete wall with him and his friend in the car?
Oh my God.
They both passed away. The friends, she lived. She got two concurrent life sentences, 15 years to life with the possibility of parole. They don't think she'll get parole, but it's, up to the parole board. And her statement to the family, the victims' families, was that she doesn't know what happened. And then the prosecuting attorneys brought up how this was happening all the time, and she, not her running into the wall, but she would threaten to do it. She had threatened to do it the week before. They were constantly breaking up and fighting, and she had made violent threats all the time. So I wanted to bring that story up because when I saw it, I was also thinking about some questions that some people have been asking me in my DMs. And sometimes you guys, like, when it's stuff like this and you realize you're in a toxic situation, stop making excuses for it and try your best to get out. I know that it is so much easier said than done. But the moment that you find yourself asking somebody and in the back of your head, you're really looking for an excuse to stay, it's time to go.
Or it can
It's
have a
time to
fatal
go. Yeah. Anyway, that was this week's Weird Sex. Thank you to everybody who sent that because y'all need to remember, just 19 and her whole life is gone. Damn
19.
shame. She's 19. She did it when she was 17 and she just got sentenced.
Oh, man.
Isn't that crazy? Over a boy. Yeah. Over boy. Anyway, that's this week's Weird Sex. Keep sending me the stories. You can DM to me on Instagram at Kiki Said So.
Girl, you took me so far so fast. I wasn't ready.
You never know how weird sex is gonna go. Sometimes it's funny,
sometimes it's crimes. Last week it
sad.
was somebody wants to have 100 children and she's already got 21 and she's 24. She was using a surrogate, yeah.
She's using a surrogate. Okay, because
a few surrogates. You were like, what kind of?
Prove it. I need the evidence.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into some of what you were just talking about.
Okay.
Can you break down the whole shadow healing stuff? What exactly is it? Where does it come from? How do you do it? What does it look like to book a shadow healing consultation?
I love that you ask those questions. It's layers to it, Most people won't be ready for the truth. And so you kind of have to get to a place where you're sick of yourself. You're sick of being sick of yourself. You're tired of all of the things that you're looking to manifest or attract into your experience turning to shit, and you're just like, okay, what else, God? Like, what else is there? Because it clearly must be me. I'm the common denominator. Some people don't get to that place of awareness of like, oh, it's me. So they're kind of just like going in circles, wondering like why life sucks, why, I continue to attract the same type of miserable relationships or the same type of like story. And then, maybe one day they'll desire to reflect on self, but most just won't.
It's hard.
It is hard.
And when they do and they come to you, what does that look like? What's that experience?
It looks so many different ways, because typically like the human experience is all about projection. A lot of what we see and what we attract in our experience is like what is already inside of us. And so that dictates how we interact with other people, how we feel about them. And when we have the awareness that what I see on you is really what's inside of me, then we can approach relationship and different like, encounters in a more evolved way. And I'm like, what's a better way to say that? A lot of times, like, women meet women and it's like an instant competition or it's like an instant, like, discomfort, like, damn, like, what is that? I don't even like her. You can't even explain it.
I don't even know her.
I don't even know her, but what is it?
Like, what is there not to like when you know nothing about the person?
Yeah, but see, what's happening is, like, you're rubbing up against something inside of you that hasn't caught your awareness. And so that's the only way to really get awareness is to see it, is to see that on someone else. And when you do, the awareness is alerted by the discomfort. It's like, oh, I feel something. Most people will create a story from that and will miss the opportunity to learn themselves or to evolve in that moment, But when you can use your emotion as an indicator, you're like, oh shit, like I'm feeling something. And you lean in and you can ask that question, like, what is this encounter here to show me? What is it about this woman that makes me feel insecure? It could be something as simple as like she stepped into her purpose. She believed that she could have a podcast and people would care what she has to talk about, and she's doing that for herself. But I have, a fear to step into that, or I'm afraid, or I don't believe that anyone would care to hear what I have to say. So I'm looking at you like, well, who you think you are? You know who you are. You stepped into that. If I would allow myself to be liberated and brought to awareness by what I feel when I look at you, that jealousy, jealousy is an amazing shadow because an emotion, because it lets you know that like you're missing an opportunity to do more for yourself. It's literally you separating yourself from the goodness of someone or something else. why do that? You know, we do it a lot. So
I see it a lot, like in the comments, for example, sometimes when people are calling us hoes and talking about how we're so disgusting and stuff like that, you know, and it's like, sometimes I feel like you're upset because we're sharing our experience. We're not telling anybody to make the decisions that we have made, but it's like, maybe you wish that you were more free. And when you see us speaking freely about our experience, then that makes you want to name call and not like us and really get your thumbs to going on Beyonce's internet to say something. But I think I see that sometimes in those experiences.
You nailed it, you know, and it's like, the thing is that people don't realize that's why they're doing it. So they feel justified and vindicated and validated in their hate, you know, but it's really judgment of others that stems from judgment of yourself. And when you can release the judgment of self and go into a place of accepting who you are, how you are, even the perceivably unlovable parts, you can't have that grace for other people. It's an inside job.
And I really like how you said if when you can get to the awareness level of realizing that the things that you see in other people or what you keep attracting or whatever, I don't know what you said verbatim, but it's a reflection of you. It makes you a better person when you can at least try. I'm not perfect at it, and it's relationship by relationship because it's harder with certain people to try to like see that and be like, there's no way that there's no way this is a reflection of me. But I've really been trying to do this with my boyfriend. And when we have a negative experience or something happens, I can only control me. Can't control him. Even though sometimes you have these, like, why the fuck why do you think that makes? And then I've been having these moments.
She was so calm and all.
Because ain't nobody perfect, and I have to give myself that grace sometimes. You're like, okay, you had to slip up, but like, let's talk about it with self first. I listen to a lot of Abraham Hicks, and a lot of what you're saying is what she be spewing, and it's hard to tap into that because, like I said, it's hard for you to believe that you are a representation of this. But I try it with my boyfriend, and I see it. I'm like, wow, when I can look at you and see whatever the disagreement might be, and see where I caused some of this, even if it's the slightest thing, it makes you want to be better. It makes you want to be like, you know what? I am upset, but let me handle this in a totally different way, catch you off guard with it, first of all, because you're expecting me to behave in a different way. But really, let me try to control my emotions and get to the root of it. And it's hard. It is very hard. This is the only relationship that I'm even really actively trying it in because I haven't gotten to the point with other people to do it because I'm just healing needs to happen. But it makes you think more about how you're just living your life in general and who you're allowing around it, who you're talking to, who you're spending time with, so that you can at least have some sort of control over what you can have control over.
Absolutely.
It's really beautiful.
What you're speaking to is accountability. That's what you're speaking to. And many people haven't reached access to that just yet, you know. But you mentioned something else that I want to speak to, which is like why it is so difficult to have accountability. And it's because it challenges the ego. You know, and so when we talk about ego, we're speaking about the way in which one sees themselves, right? So like we can take away all of like the drama with ego or like it means you're arrogant or cocky or whatever, like none of it. It's really just your relationship with how you see you. That's ego. No judgment about what your ego is doing. Who cares, right? Now, when you think about the ego and how you see yourself, typically we only meet this version of ourselves when we're being challenged. So I'll ask you, like, you know, to help you see your ego. Like, what is that ego self I have? That's typically like the version of you that you're protecting or defending when you're feeling challenged, disrespected, or attacked, right? Because who you talking to, bitch? Who you know she ain't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know, that's when you get to meet that version of yourself. Now, when we see how we respond in those moments of challenge, it gives us an opportunity to respond differently, right? Is what you're saying. When I can see how I contributed to this situation, I don't need to be right. I don't need to defend this version of myself because it's okay if I'm wrong. It's okay if I can learn something new here. I don't need to be the boss, the leader. You know, that's humility. Now we're speaking about being humble and just shutting the fuck up and listening sometimes. Try that. Yeah. You might save your relationship.
Yeah, or apologize how the person needs to be apologized to, and not it. That's one of my flaws, and it's like I had an issue with my boyfriend, and he really likes touching and feeling, and I know that about him. So sometimes when I'm mad, I will just go to sleep and turn around and be like, and this is what you deserve because of what happened. Aww. And the other night, since I've been challenging myself with this, I had a moment where I was laying in the bed and I really put everything into perspective. If we don't wake up tomorrow, it'd if I wake up and you don't wake up, I would be, this is petty. It's not even really that serious. I was like, he wants touch. Just touch that nigga. And in my mind, it was so hard. I was really having a battle. Like, just touch him, just cuddle him. You know that's gonna make all of this go away. And so I picked up my leg and put my ankle on his leg. He felt me trying. I really was trying. Me and my grudges and not talking is not okay. And it's like this level of awareness that you talk about, I'm working on it every day, because it is, even when people come to me with a problem about someone else, I'm always like, let's take a look at it in a different way, because it doesn't have to be such a big deal. It might be something that you can fix in yourself just to tweak this whole thing that's going on. It really is a beautiful thing. It's
absolutely,
hard.
Absolutely. And then so you also said something else. You were like, how can, with the Abraham Hicks thing, like about being the law of attraction and attracting what you are and being able to see it inside of yourself. Yeah, I don't want to see that. If I'm looking at you and I don't like you and I don't like that, why would I liken myself to that thing? You know? Yeah. So the perspective that I offer on that is that it's not always about saying that you get what you are, but you get what you deserve. You get what you need. So it might be you attracting an opportunity to see something in yourself that is like blocking you from expanding to your next level. Why do you keep attracting these same kind of relationships? Because you haven't learned, babe. You keep being the people pleaser. You keep being the whatever you are, the man in the relationship, but you got a man in the relationship. Until you see your pattern and accept, okay, these are my flaws and this is what I can do or shouldn't be doing or what have you, you don't really get a chance to go to the next level. It's like that, You
gotta learn your lesson before you can move on.
Yeah. And be open to seeing what the teaching moment is. Everyone in your life is a teacher to you. Be willing to go to class. Take notes, learn the lesson, pass, nigga.
Or you gonna be in that class again.
And you will,
Every single semester.
Now, when we were in Tulum with Paradise and Vibe, your workshop was about the neuroscience of love. And I didn't know what that was, but I was so excited to attend the workshop because I just heard neuroscience and love. And I was like, this sounds like something about brain and sex. And the way that you opened up your workshop was there was a white board and it said, fact or fable, women can have sex without emotions.
Yeah.
And she gave everybody Post-its. You didn't have to put your name on it. You just went up and it was 2 columns, put what you think. And some people put like, yeah, what? We city girls. Some people was like, yeah, nah, feelings is getting hurt. And an emotion actually was had. And you broke down the science of sex with women and trying to detach emotions. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I loved your cocktail, girl. I was like, where did you find a drink called the depressed pussy?
Like you.
That's deep.
When we talked earlier today, you told me to go listen to the Cobra song by Meg Thee Stallion. I had watched her video, but I didn't have my headphones, so I just watched it and I didn't listen to the lyrics. And today when I listened, I was like, this actually made me like a fan of Meg. I'm not a Meg hater, but I just never really. Yeah. And this made me be like, wow, I like when people are raw and honest like that.
You need that's like she's going through her shadow era is how I feel. That accountability, that awareness. I'm seeing how I'm contributing to the misery in my life. Deep, like, oh shit, if I want changes, I need to be a part of that, Girl, what did you ask me before I brought up Megan?
About the neuroscience of love and the women detaching their emotions from sex.
Absolutely. And so I brought up Megan because, she's been the hot girl coach for I don't know how many summers we've been having hot girl seasons, and she didn't invent it. We know we've been out here home for a long time, but it's been glamorized and it's trendy to just like smash and dash. And it's like, okay, sis, is that your truth? Or are you just operating in defense to what's being presented in the masses? Men don't really want to keep you. They want to kind of collect your body. They want to do what they can while it's available to them. And so you're like, cool, I want to play the game. I don't want to miss out. I want to get stroked every now and then. So let me numb myself. Let me take my heart out of it so I can, let my pussy get played with. And it's just like, cool, how's that working out for you? So I have this theory, I said, and it's funny because it was before I heard the Cobra song, but it was like, I heard the hot girls got cold coochies, And they're like, well, what does that mean? I'm like, well, sis, if there is no blood supply from the heart, from the heart to the womb, from the heart to the sacrum, what's keeping her alive and warm? What's so good about that? Is it juicy? Is it wet? What is it doing? Is he having like sexy red, like spit on your shit? Like what's going on? Because the type of sacred connections that I look to foster and educate women about and have for myself, baby, we ain't got to talk about much. It's the eye connection. It's the breath work. It's the meditation before even going into the act of sex. It's the playing with the senses and hitting every level. The smell, the taste, the touch, the feel, the sounds. It's an experience. So the neuroscience of love really talked about what are those neurotransmitters that are going off in the body that let you know like when you're ready to do these things, or are we like breaching those contracts with self and just like skipping the steps? Am I just doing it because I want to do it because I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing? Which is what most of us do. Like, I want to get a man with a bag. I want to be that bad bitch, whatever I got to do to like be chosen. So I'll keep up. That's not you, sis,
It has definitely been me before. I'm sitting on this couch. We have talked about a lot of things on this show, and
we have.
And it's funny and not, because we can go back and watch it and see like when we weren't as evolved as we might be now. Again, nobody's perfect. You still might have a little one night stand, but what I have realized, and when I casted my vote, I went to Fable. To me, it doesn't seem like the average woman or most women can really do that. And when you really start talking to women who are doing it, even people who work as sex workers and sometimes have this glamorized story of what they're doing, when you really have a one-on-one conversation with them in private, like the whole story is a different story. And you're just, like you say, you're trying to keep yourself happy and keep yourself going through what you think you have to do. And it's you can see it in the eyes. And so
I also think when you find yourself always having to numb yourself before sex with like drugs and alcohol, you probably shouldn't.
Absolutely.
Like, because don't you want to feel it? Not just feel the physical touch, but it is different. It's totally different when you have sex with somebody you like versus somebody who is just a sex thing. Maybe you didn't charge your vibrator, so you called him, but
or it died on you. So
it that it's different.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes it's damn, you said something and I was like, I wanted to piggy on it. What was do you remember your word? You said,
I don't know.
It was right before your vibrator dies.
No, drug and alcohol.
Yes, thank you. Because sometimes we literally are having sex to numb. It's so much pain that we're experiencing otherwise that it's like, let me just feel this
something.
Few moments of pleasure, and you don't care where you're getting it from, not realizing that you're creating more harm than good, because our literally speaking, like physically, biologically speaking, the womb is made of a spongy material. Sponges hold on to things. It soaks it up. So think about every partner that you're exchanging energy with. You're holding on to pieces of them. And then they're literally dumping whatever they need to get off, into you. You become a receptacle, a cum bucket, it's like, do you want to be that? Are you okay with somebody just like having a bad day and calling you to get that energy off of them? And then then what are you giving birth to? Because now it's in your womb. What are you conceiving now? What are you carrying? What do you now need to move through your body because of what this person dumped into you? It was like, thanks, babe. Thanks. May or may not call your ass the next day.
So how do you clear that out?
Work.
Yeah, but what is the work?
It starts with awareness. Okay, and I'll always go back to awareness because without awareness, there really is no opportunity for a shift. So it starts with realizing like maybe I really don't want to be this person anymore, or maybe these things really aren't benefiting me. It starts with that. And when you can recognize like, okay, I have a pattern and it's not working out, the work looks like creating a healthy relationship with the womb. That might be the foods that you're eating. Nobody want to talk about diet, but I mean, the sugar is more of a drug than the cocaine is. And then you want to know why you got fibroids and cysts and irregular cycles and infertility.
This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, you'll eat well, and you will stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all of your holiday to-dos.
Choose from 35 plus weekly flavored, packed, fresh, never frozen, delicious, I'm talking about delicious meals that support a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences, all delivered right to your door and ready in just a few minutes.
Have you gotten a chance to try any of your meals yet?
It's so funny because as soon as I got them in the mail, it was time for lunch. And I said, I'm gonna try one right now because they're not like super hardcore frozen. That's what I really liked.
And I like that you don't put them in the freezer, you put them in the fridge.
You put them in the fridge, and then that makes you want to eat them more often. So I tried it was like a pasta, a cavatappi pasta. It was so good with roasted vegetables, red peppers. It was delicious, and it was the perfect amount of food for lunch.
Yeah,
I'm addicted. And the packaging was perfect.
Yeah, it slides right in your refrigerator. My refrigerator is not huge. That's something that annoys me sometimes with grocery shopping. And it's like I have my meal right there. I warm mine up in the oven instead of the microwave, but you could do the microwave too. And it took less than 10 minutes.
It was
think it's
tasty.
great.
It was a nice little way to kind of split up all the Thanksgiving leftovers.
And it really does save you time because you don't have to cook. You're just warming your food up. A chef already made it. It makes you feel a little bit rich. So if you head on over to factormeals.com/cocktales50, COCKTALES50, and use code cocktales50, you'll get 50% off. That's code cocktales50 at factormeals.com/cocktales50 to get 50% off.
You know, those are actual physical manifestations of the emotional problems that you have, but you haven't addressed it. And so when we have these things inside of our body that aren't being addressed from the metaphysical level, the emotional level, then it comes to the physical, because how else are you going to see it? Dis-ease, like the etymology of the word, dis-ease, you know, but then it manifests as herpes or an STD, AIDS, or gonorrhea, whatever, all the things you can name. Like, babe, that's emotional. You were a vibrational match to the disease within your womb. Why have you cared to do the work to know? Okay, so then once we have the awareness and we decide to make different decisions, we restrict access. I'm not saying that you can't have sex, but like, I mean, put a velvet rope up on your shit.
Be more intentional.
And you know, that was one of the things that, like, in the workshop again, I hate to keep bringing it back to that, but I got to,
like that you do that. You were so inspired.
It was like there were people that, like, debates had kind of started, because some people were like, well, it sounds like y'all are judging. And it was like, nobody was judging. It was just a conversation. We're attending a workshop and it's a different viewpoint from somebody else, just like anything you would attend. It's like, nobody's judging anybody. And then you had some people like, well, so are you saying that you have to be in a relationship to have sex, or you have to be in love to have sex? We all know you don't, unless that's just the life you want to live. It's just, have you ever tried this way? And do you want to see the awareness?
It's like a shift of perspective. If you're allowing someone to come into your body, but you can't tell them that you love them or express love, like, what's really going on in there? Like, what's really going on? You know, because if I'm going to open my legs to you and allow you to be inside of me, but I can't show you love, or you can come inside of me and get butt ass naked and we can roll around and sweat and share like the nastiest parts of ourselves, but then you can't tell me you love me, like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So I want to have that kind of conversation first, because it's not about like, what have you romanticized in your head about what love is to say that I don't love you, but I'll fuck you. Where did the separation come in? You know, and that goes back to like separating the heart from the sacral. Like, no, if you protect your heart, or excuse me, if you protect your womb, is this how we say it? Let me see what my mantra is. When you honor your womb, you do not have to protect your heart. Okay, and when you protect your heart, you don't have to. Girl, I don't know the second part of that. The point being, like, you know, when they're in tandem, working together and not separated from each other, then all things are in flow. You know, it all makes sense. There is no pain. You're not separating love from the physical. How many times have you had sex and then like got up and felt empty?
Definitely have.
I don't know.
And not because the dick was so big, because I've had that too. Like, you just felt
that's a
dug
different
out.
kind of empty.
Like, whoa, like I'm gaping.
It's just like everything is gone. You feel dead.
Like, did you move my kidneys? Like,
or even just like, again, like, because I'm not gonna sit here and act like everyone I've had sex with I've been in love with. I haven't. But
I definitely haven't.
Yeah, like, but it does hit differently, because now that I'm in a loving, healthy relationship, it hits so differently. But even when I was out there in the streets and having sex with several people, there would be times when it is like we're having such intimate moments, but I feel like I can't come to you if something's wrong. I gotta put
really
on.
express yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't feel good, because you were just inside of my body. I ain't even been inside my body like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there were some people that were like, no, you can take the emotions away and you can do all these things, but it's like, for the moment, it does feel good, because hot girl summers have been fun. I'm not trying to sit here and act like they haven't been, but sometimes when you can't apply the awareness level that you're talking about, you find yourself thinking that you were detaching the emotions, but now you're dealing with it now. Now you sitting down on the couch. talking to a therapist about it, or you're in the jungle at a retreat crying about niggas.
Or don't even know why you're not able to manifest why you haven't gotten that job you keep putting this resume in for. Like, why your money's so funny. Like, why you wake up depressed every day. Why your kids don't like you for real. Like, why your friendships like in a disarray. Like, you don't even understand the ways that these stagnant energies in our body manifest in so many different ways physically. You just don't get it, you know? And so it's more than just that. I'm not the person to tell you like, don't have sex or only do it when you're married. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like, if you're willing to open your legs to someone, be willing to cultivate a relationship of love. That could look like many things. That could look like when you get my undivided attention, we turn our phones off, we pray together. You know, I won't even have sex with you if I don't know what your desires and your goals are in life so I can help you bring those to fruition. Like, love don't have to be I call you every day, I'm paying your bills, or I'm like gaga goo over you. Like, that's not that. Love can simply be I genuinely care about you. I see you as a person. I desire to know what pleasures you. And when we're in this moment, you get all of that from me. And when we done, like, nigga, I call you when I call you.
I love that you really broke that down, because some people might be like, well, so you just got to be in love. I wanted to ask you, dang, your memory loss came over to my memory. And I'm like, I had a really good, praying over the dick. So I remember when we were in Tulum, you had mentioned like praying over the dick, and she had talked about it a little bit, and I was like, damn, I'm gonna try this tonight. And so like,
y'all, this shit came to me the next day, like,
I tried to pray over the dick, and I didn't do it right. I was like, dear God, I pulled the dick out, and I was like, dear God, I just wanted to come. I was praying how I would pray over food, and I was like, I don't think I did this right, because it made it real weird.
Were you saying it out loud?
I was saying it out loud.
Okay.
And then I brought it to Divine Soul. She was like, you don't got to do it. Like, if you want to do it that way, do it that way. But that's not really what I meant. Can we talk a little bit about praying over the dick?
And she is so funny, girl.
And making this moment intentional. Like, what does that look like for us girls out here?
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. So let's just take it back to what the womb is in the first place, right? So a lot of us don't realize that sex is for creation. And I'm not saying only have sex when you want to make a baby. I'm saying we create. As women with wombs, we have the power to create life. That's not just putting a body on a spirit. That's like creating job opportunities. That's creating a new bag of money, a new stream of income. That's opportunities for love and relationship. You know, we're creating. And so I want to set that intention with what I'm creating with you, because if I'm not intentional, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. I might fuck around and get pregnant. I might want to cancel that. Now I got a whole nother trauma to deal with. You know, I might mess around and receive some of your, whatever you've been carrying physically or emotionally, you know? So if I'm not clear on the intention of what I'm asking to create and what I'm allowing into me, then I'm open for anything. It could be as simple as just saying, dear God, thank you for dick, because I ain't had that in a minute, you know? And then like, what is it that you want to create in this portal with me? We're going to open a portal wide open. Like, you're going to have your eyes roll to the back of your head. You're wide open. You're vibrating and tingling. Everything is wet, fluid, it's juicy. Like, whoa, like we're there. Like, what are you doing with that energy? You know? And so just being clear on that is enough.
Oh, I'm going to try it again.
So kind of like saying affirmations, but pre-sex.
Oh yeah, my sex talk is real affirmative.
Can you give us an example?
Okay, let me see. Hold on. So like when I'm in a good missionary position, I like to be heart to heart. I love to start heart to heart, you know. And we started before we like even got naked, you know, because we're creating the energy.
And when you say heart to heart, just facing each other or like touching?
Touching, okay. Like heart to heart, like when you hug someone, you know. So now we're root to root, sacral to sacral, heart to heart. All of our like most potent energy centers are like touching, you know. You really can't run from love like that. And that's why some people want to just turn you around and do it from the back, because I don't need to connect with your heart. It's like, nah, nigga, give me that heart. Give me all of that heart energy, okay? So we start there, and then while we doing that, and she's loving it, so you're loving it, you know, I'm in your ear with some affirmations and some questions even. I want to know, like, do you feel that, you know? And he's like, what is she talking to me like, shut the fuck up, bitch? Like, I don't want to talk. Because typically they don't want to talk, you know? But that was before the sacred sex anyway. Once we've established the connection and I'm already affirming you, like, I want to know, like, if you feel it. And you're like, what is it? What do I feel? Like, yeah, I feel that. And I'm like, yeah, do you feel all of your desires inside of me? Like, go get that. Like, get it.
Go get it.
Go get that. Like, that's you. Like, you feel like that's you. Yeah, like you feel good, don't you? Like you love where you are, like whatever. Because I don't know what it feels like to be a man with a penis inside of a woman, but I can imagine.
I wish we could feel it just once. I'm very curious too.
I'm curious too.
I want to know. I normally ask, like, so what was that like for you?
They can never put it in words that I can understand.
I take it like that pussy speechless. Yeah. So I ask, I want to know, like, when you're in there and you feel that good, like, can you connect that feeling to a desire? Because when we were praying, we were setting our intentions for those desires, what you want to manifest. So now that you feel that, embody that feeling with what you told me you wanted to bring into this experience, then allow me to birth that for you. But first you got to put it in me, you know? So I'm not using that many words. Okay. Trust. Cause I mean, I don't want to use that many words. But if I need to encourage you to get where I need you to go, I'm reminding you that it's in there. Go get it. You know, it's deeper. You know, there are other words. And if I remember some of my sex talk, I might drop it.
That's a beautiful way to start sex. Like, I've never started sex like that. But I'm curious to know, shout out to us, get the game, I'm curious to know.com. I'm curious to know, like, how the person would receive it. Because I would imagine, even when I tried to, like, do the pray over the dick, I got really nervous. It was a level of, like, it's just like, I don't know. I still can't really pinpoint it.
Maybe because it was new.
Very new, but also it's very vulnerable. To, like, I sometimes get nervous to, like, pray over the food in a group setting of people. Like, some people are really good at that.
Did you feel shame?
I didn't feel shame. Okay. I just felt like, what's he feeling?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even hear me start praying. Because when I had asked him, I was like, did you hear me praying and everything? He was like, no. Yeah. But it made me really be like, wow, if we already have a great sex life, but if we were to take it up a step further, how much more great could it get? Because now we got a whole different level of vulnerability that I couldn't be your first and you couldn't be my first, but we could be each other's first in this process.
Absolutely. And it would completely wipe out any other experience you've ever had, you know?
Yeah.
I could see that. And it's like, when you said it was like praying over your food, I mean, that's appropriate, you know, because sometimes, like, when you pray over your food, it's the only time you're really, like, even recognizing God in the day, you know, but you're getting ready to nourish your body. Every cell is involved. Like, that is, like, it's essential for your life. Like, I'm eating, you know, and sex is like that.
I mean, you could have a baby. And one thing that really stood out to me when you talked about how while the intention doesn't have to be to actually give birth to a little human, it could be to give birth to other things. It's like, if this intention is to give birth to a child, I would love to be able to create the child before I've actually created the child, meaning, like, we're already speaking life into you, baby girls. Absolutely. Y'all already felt this before you came here. So the space that we have created for you already, imagine what it's about to be when you get here. And we keep creating this and we keep speaking to you. Like, it brought tears to my eyes. Like, I think I cried in the workshop. I was crying a lot.
I love that. It's so beautiful. But, like, there's so much power in it, because then now we're changing the dynamic of relationship. Now we're so open and honest and vulnerable with what we're doing that, like, I might be insecure, but I can tell you that. And then you can show your love and care by honoring my insecurities, and not by, like, coddling me emotionally or being codependent, but you could, like, take into consideration, like, okay, we're not in an exclusive relationship. You know, I love you. You know, I want to be with other people and see other people, but I know you need your time, you know, so I'm gonna wait till you go to bed. I'm gonna make sure that, like, I fed you, I gave you everything you needed tonight. And then we cuddle. And when you're asleep, like, kiss on the forehead, and now I go do me, or whatever becomes your reality, because you had the vulnerability, the audacity, and the comfort to say what you needed, you know, and say what hurts. And then you had someone that could receive that in love.
And then if they can't, it puts you in a space where you have control over who you are with. You might be like, you know what? We've had so much conversation about this, or you keep lying and sneaking or hiding, whatever it is that's going on. I'm not actually going to keep allowing this. When you have open communication and awareness like this, you might be the person to change some of the heartache y'all be writing in about. And it might, you maybe don't have to go through some of the things that you have been through or are going through.
Yeah.
When you apply some of these things, I think that was, like, the main message. It was like, even if you do think it's okay to be a hot girl, and you being a hot girl, your best hot girl, do it. Just think about some other options. And
I am not the one to condemn people's sexual practices. I'm just saying, have intention with what you're doing, you know, and honor yourself, because a lot of times we'll lie to ourselves and say we are honoring ourselves, but we're doing it to honor someone else, you know, or to honor insecurity, or to honor, you know, it's just not always from a pure space. Have your slut era if you want to, you know, do it from a place of, this is who I am when I'm doing it. This is why I do it, you know, and just stand in your truth. A lot of people are living in hiding and shame, but they won't tell you.
Yeah, we meet lots of people like that. We've had lots of guests like that on the show. And it's like sometimes you don't feel comfortable to share how you feel with people, to open up and be vulnerable. I wanted to go back to when you were talking about having sex and being heart to heart. And I always forget all the different chakras. Can you go through those and tell us what each one could do when you are like forehead to forehead, heart to heart with someone?
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
Because I like to do the forehead to forehead, but I don't know why. I do it a lot. And look deep into the eyes.
Absolutely. That's like a window to the soul. Not even like it is the, I haven't really played with that before. So let's play with it together. Okay. So your root is your base chakra. It's located just underneath the genitals, like just below. Okay. The color for that chakra is red. So this one is typically like your chakra for feeling safe in your body, feeling safe wherever you are. And so, well, let's just say your root, your sacral, and your solar plexus, your lower 3 chakras, those are the chakras where most people are vibrating. Means most of us don't really ascend too high up. Those are your sexual chakras. That's your who you are, that's your where you are, and that's your pleasure center, And so that's typically what we're bumping anyway, okay? When you get into your heart space, now we're open for love. The way that looks in sex is like some people don't even want to, like we said, like be face to face or heart to heart. Sometimes it's like, girl, turn around or like lay on this side or like, I don't even want to look at you. It's like that, and some women know that too. Like, oh, we don't do missionary. We don't do that. It's like, oh, okay. Because when your hearts do touch, you fall into that love space. You cannot help it. And even if your heart is touching, but you don't want to be there, then you're blocked. So you're not even present, So then there's that. After your heart, next is your throat chakra. Now, we like to liken the throat to the yoni, which is the Sanskrit word for the vagina. And I mean, they're pretty much like the same organ if you look at it. The diagram of the throat looks like the inside of the vagina.
It's warm and wet.
I can imagine for a man when he's going inside, he's kind of like, whoa, where's the difference, And so I don't know. I guess I don't think you could be throat to throat during sex, but you could be in somebody's throat. And then you could
maybe if like you have like your head like nestled.
That's okay. I see. But see, then your heart to heart
nibbling
also
on a ear or something.
That's true. Or even kissing on
That's
the
what
neck.
animals do. They do this. Like horses do this neck
that
thing.
little thing.
That's true. Oh wow, that's funny.
I'm gonna find a way to get up in all these spots.
Think about when we think about the throat. I think about like the vocal. The audio aspect of having sex and affirming your partner and saying what you like and saying what you love or what you don't like and what you don't love, or just, moaning to the rooftop because you feel so free and able to do that. Like that's a thing, After the throat, we have the third eye, or I like to say the first eye chakra. That's typically like for vision and intuition. And that's where you said you like to go forehead to forehead. This is also our crown, right? The crown is just above, and that's our connection to the divine. A lot of us are not operating here when we're intimate or having sex, but when you add the intention or the prayer, then you are connected to the divine, which is why sex can be meditative. You can go into this space and you can literally like ask for answers and go in there and meditate and receive clarity or ideas and things like that. So, but this one, the third eye is touching, I could see maybe sharing a vision, So if the two of you were to come together and create an intention for manifesting the next live tour, and you were like, this is what I want it to look like. And then as you're sharing that moment, sharing your energy center for vision, and then sharing that vision with that person, that's powerful. Because, in the Bible, like you say, and I'm not a big religious person, I'm gonna just say that, but I like where all the good word comes from. Where two or more gather, it's like that's where your prayers are coming true. I don't know the Bible scripture, but it don't matter where you say that. In every different culture, they're like, in groups is where God comes and makes things happen. And so sex is one of those places, and the evidence is birthing children,
That's beautiful. A beautiful breakdown. Before we move on to Indecisive Diane, I forgot to put this on the notes. And Kiki, I don't know if you knew this or not, but Divine Soul, you were on a reality show.
Oh, girl.
What show?
And it was a show about
that
open
so
marriages
funny.
and like thruples and stuff like that.
What was it called?
Yeah. It was called Seeking Sister Wife.
Oh, I heard of that show.
You have?
Yeah. I watch all the shows. I've seen an episode of that.
What was it like navigating that situation?
Ooh, girl, I'll tell you the truth.
They needed to get them chakras aligned.
Babe, they needed to get their chakras aligned. There was so much that happened on that show that was never given space to even discuss, you know? And so if anyone is like watching this and saw me on that show, they're probably like, oh my gosh, she's alive, she's okay, she's well. It was so much drama that TLC didn't even give us a reunion show. They were just like,
wow, we got to cut this.
it was given like, ooh. So yeah, girl.
Well,
I'm gonna have to go watch that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Indecisive Diane. When we come back, Divine Soul's gonna help us with the advice letters.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? What do you want?
Hey ladies, it's me, Diane, and guess what? It's time for you to travel. Go to paradiseandvibes.com and sign up for Brazil. It's gonna be so much fun. Bring your friends, bring your bae, bring anyone you want, or come alone. It'll be fun. See you there in February. Bye.
Okay, and we are back from Indecisive Diane, and it is time for advice. If you have a question that you would like to ask us on the show, make sure you email us, advice@cocktailspod.com. Okay, is it mine or yours?
Yours.
Mine, okay. Sorry.
It's okay. You want to use my computer?
I got it up now. Okay, so this week's advice says, should I let my wife chase her crush? Kiki and Medinah, my wife and I have been listening to your podcast for a few years now and enjoy the stories, advice, and funny moments. Now, a little about our current situation. Now to the story. Both of us. Okay. Anyway, we went to the bank one day to handle some business. The bank teller we had was a girl around our age that was very attractive. Let's just call her Jasmine. In the middle of the transaction, my wife texted me on the side to say she had a crush on her. I noticed her acting shy and blushing, but it didn't click until she texted me this. Mind you, this is the first time she openly told me or felt that way about another woman outside of the occasional titty comments. I know she likes those, LOL. She proceeded to tell me to help her talk to her, but I wasn't trying to get too involved because I'm not trying to set myself up. But she kept saying how Jasmine had her blushing and it was crazy that a girl was making her feel some type of way. Fast forward. We get home and she is still talking about this girl and how she felt like she fumbled not getting her info. Jasmine was being overly nice to us, so it could have definitely been a mutual feeling, but my wife has no game and didn't realize how serious she was about her, so I didn't intervene. I told her to find a reason to go back up there. So she decided to call the bank to say that she forgot her AirPods at her station, but they were already closed. So being the stalker that she is, damn. My wife found her social media and messaged her saying she forgot her AirPods. Jasmine responded immediately with a lot of smiley faces and extra punctuation. They proceeded to talk about other things. So I felt like she felt attraction to her as well. So now my wife is casually social media friends with her new girl crush and makes jokes about a potential threesome. It seems like they flirt a little, but nothing serious, just calling one another pretty, etc. I'm all for the idea, but just a little cautious about actually trying to pursue the threesome. I know she can be jealous, so I don't want to risk any issues over a potential good time. So do you think this is something we should pursue further? Also, how would we even bring this up to Jasmine to see if she is interested as well? Thank you, Mr. Stuck in the Middle.
I think this is a great question for you to answer. Because I'm instantly like, no, you gonna lose your wife. She gonna get mad at something. But that the professional. What would you tell them?
Not the professional friend. Okay. Mr. Stuck in the Middle should stay out of it. Stay out of it. Mm-hmm. Know your role and play it well. Because if you try to take control at any point, it is now you cheating Now, you crossing a boundary or something like that, you'll give her reason to be pissed. Insecurities that are already there are going to be ignited and like brought to the surface, and then it can be projected onto him like it's all your fault, you know? And so my suggestion is let her play. Let her play. Let her do what she's doing. If she asks for advice, casually just like tell her what you would do in your past. Make it very clear, like back in my single days, babe, like way before you, okay? And then let her reel her in. Let her bring her into the space, because in that regard, it was her choice. You got your hands clean, you know, but you get to get your hands dirty once she's done, you know, once she's pulled her, if you will. And even in that regard, I want to say, stay out of it, okay? Because even when she brings her to your bedroom, if that's the decision that y'all make, okay, don't get too excited. Don't go trying to grab nothing first. Don't make no suggestions. I want to see you do this, or let me see you. Don't
tread lightly.
Mind your business.
This is the perfect time to have the intentional talk. And because you need to know what is okay and what is not. Yeah. That's great advice. Stay out of it if you let this happen.
Yeah, and you might just get a chance to be a part of it. Yeah. So
because then she might really be like relying on you, like, baby, like I want you to tap in. Like,
and then when you tap in, and if you do too much, then it's gonna be like, well, I didn't tell you to tap that hard.
Okay, because see, I haven't always had sacred pussy. Okay. I had my slut era. I've done things, but I'm like, I've played. You know, I remember like I told you I've never been in an exclusive relationship. I've never just had like my man and he's my man. There's been some level of sharing. Either we're not exclusive, so you have other women, or I'm sharing my man with a woman, you know, in whatever aspect that looks like. Sometimes that has been, you know, in a sexual experience. And babe, I've been on every end of it, like where I invited the woman because I thought my man would like it, or my man invited a woman and I thought I was cool with it because he wanted it and I didn't want to say no and get left out. You know, I've been on every different aspect of that. And every time it brought up some bullshit. No matter. Every time, you know, and especially whenever he's like excited about it. I remember once bringing my friend and just seeing their eye contact. And I begged her. I was like, come, because he likes you and this will just make him happy. And really, I knew, and I have more awareness now, I was so insecure that it was like, I needed a reason to not be in that relationship. So I'm like, if he's really going to fuck my friend, and if she's really going to do it, like, fuck both y'all. And, you know, I knew it was like twisted. It was sick. And they agreed. He wanted her, she wanted him, and they're in my bed going in. And I remember feeling like, it's over for all of us. Like, we're all breaking up. I'm done. Yeah, it's like
you have lost your mind. Meanwhile, it was your idea.
So you're gonna take my advice. You're gonna do what I said do. So you're gonna just come in here and do.
Yeah,
you got me fucked up.
I need to book a session.
Mind your business, sir.
That was great advice. I hope you listened to it. And again, I want a follow up with this one for real.
Yeah, please let us know. Do you have the threesome? Does your wife just have fun with the woman from the bank? Did she see y'all's bank account and that's why she's being friendly? What's going on? I would really like to know.
Girl, so let us know.
That's funny.
So we're going to move on to the cocktails. If you would like to maybe have your cocktail read on Cocktales, send us an email to cocktales@cocktalespod.com.
Yes.
All right. So this cocktail is titled Big, Thick, Tender Dick, and Titty Milk.
Oh.
Okay, titty milk.
Interesting.
Maybe there was an error, but no. I'm going to get right into it because I've been debating on sharing this cocktail for a while now, but I just can't get this dick off my mind. So it started when I caught my boyfriend of 8+ years on a dating website and subscribing to OnlyFans. So we broke up and I instantly downloaded Tinder to give me some rebound dick.
Okay.
I wrote in my bio, newly single mama just looking for a fine black man to have some fun with. And they came swarming in. After about a week of screening these men, I had 2 to 3 solid options. Come Saturday night, I went out with my girls and we needed a ride home at the end of the night. So my drunk ass called one of the Tinder boobs. It was after 2 a.m. and he was outside that club ready for us within 10 minutes. I sat in the back seat with my friend and ended up climbing to the front. This man was even more fine in person, or maybe it was just the alcohol. Oh, she had never met him before. She was just Tinder conversation.
God.
This is wild because you don't even know this man.
Her boyfriend must have made her real mad. She said, I'm going all in.
I am
danger
out.
zone.
Risking my life.
Anyway, he grabbed my thigh right away and we talked a little, but I don't remember what about. I moved his hand up to my pussy and he started rubbing that thing just right. Oh, I was instantly wet. It's like I forgot my girl was in the back seat. I really didn't care who was there anyway. I was just horny. He started to finger me a little while he was driving and I rubbed his neck. Fast forward to the destination. My friend gets out of the car and I tell her I'll be there in a minute. This man immediately, and I mean immediately, tells me to get in the back seat. And I didn't hesitate. I was wearing a little black dress, perfect for what was about to go down. When he got into the back, he slid my panties to the side and started fingering my pussy while he watched me squirm. He said in a calm voice, "Do you want me to fuck you or are you too drunk?" That's awareness.
That's awareness.
I'm not trying to be on the news.
You want a finger bang?
He's like, "Are you sure you want this? Because, bitch, it's cameras on the street." I was like, "Yes, please fuck me." And he just kept talking. "You want this dick? Are you sure?" He said as he took off his shorts and whipped out this thick-ass, long-ass dick. And I got excited. He had me begging for that thing. He moved up to pull out my titties and started massaging and sucking on them. But my drunk, horny ass didn't warn him. Y'all, I still have milk in my titties.
She was lactating.
Oh.
That was a big reason I was scared to fuck another man, but he didn't care. This man just said, "Damn, you got a baby? This shit sweet as hell." And he kept on sucking and licking on me with the milk dripping.
Oh my God.
He kept telling me how sexy I was. And when he finally put his dick in me, it filled me up just right and took my breath away. He was slowly going in and out of me with that long, deep stroke, titty milk just dripping. But I could tell he was nervous of getting caught because he kept looking out the window. He put his hands on my throat. "You like that?" I moaned with my eyes closed. "Nah, open your eyes and say, 'Yes, daddy,'" he demanded. Ooh, are these affirmations and prayers?
Yes, daddy.
I like this. While still stroking me and choking me. I love a man who can lead and take charge. "Yes, daddy, I like it," I moaned. He was choking and slapping me while he fucked me, and I normally don't even like all that, but I had a demon in me that night, so I took it all. He pulled his dick out of me and turned me around onto my stomach, so I tooted that ass up and he started to eat me out and finger me again. I know the friend was like, "Are you coming up? I'm about to go to sleep."
Right.
He was lightly biting my thighs and all. Girl, he knew what he was doing. He started fucking me from the back while he pulled my hair and kissed my neck and back. He stuck his finger in my ass while he fucked me, and I was just mesmerized at this point. This man was a pleaser and sure knew how to multitask. That's when I realized you're supposed to use a condom when you fuck a damn stranger. But I haven't used one of those in years. "Please don't come at me," I begged in between my moans. "Oh, please don't come at me." "I'm not, baby. I won't, but I want to. You so wet right now." Then he sat down and told me to come taste his dick. So I obliged. He felt so good in my mouth, y'all. Just the perfect shape and size. I had his ass moaning. But before he could come, I hopped on his dick and rode that thing while he sucked my damn milky titties again and groped my ass so firmly. That man was a freak. He took his dick out of me. Because he was about to finish, and I massaged it until his nut came shooting out of on my stomach. He grabbed his shirt to clean me off. I don't really remember how we said our goodbyes, but I know my legs were limp as hell getting out of that car. I did the walk of shame with my crazy ass hair and shoes in my hand, looking a hot ass mess, back into my friend's house, and she had a sandwich ready for me to eat.
That's a good friend.
I still think about it to this day when I'm masturbating. And that happened 2 months ago. And I don't even like car sex normally. But this is my testimony. Shout out to my baby daddy for cheating on me so I could have that amazing experience. And I thank the Tinder gods for sending me that fine black man with his big ass dick. Whole time, my friend thought I was fucking the Uber driver. Thanks for reading.
Oh my gosh, that was a good one.
That was a good one, and it balanced out everything we talked about. If you're ready to just be smashing, it's like she had an intention. Baby girl said, "Listen, I want to feel good. Don't you want to feel good?" He said, "Yep, and I want to taste the milk."
He was thirsty.
When she said she forgot she had milk in there, I was like, I bet he loved it. Every man is a titty baby, at heart. And it's just something like, that's real.
That's real.
That golden,
So
that's high quality lactation, babe.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
Now, Miss Divine Soul, you now have to share a cocktail of your own.
Oh my gosh.
Show do.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're going to share one from when your pussy was sacred or when it wasn't.
Okay, that's really good. This was like pre-sacred pussy on the way to like awareness.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. Oh, this story. Let me get hold on. Oh, I'm a little nervous to tell it.
Don't you be nervous.
Okay. I sent someone to the hospital one time.
I'm not sure you got a weird sex story. What happened?
Now I got a weird sex story. So, okay. So this was right around the time where I was just beginning to understand like how to use my energy, that I could like expand my energy and move it and like create things and like, really like doing energy work. Mm-hmm. And I was connecting it to sex. I'm like, oh, okay, because when you're having sex, you can cultivate this energy and then do something with it. But I wasn't sure what just yet because I was new to this. Mm-hmm. So I was getting some head, getting some head, and it was good. And I remember beginning to get that feeling of like pressure, like the water is building, like, oh, I'm about to, and you better. Okay. And in that moment, I remembered, oh, maybe I can do something with this energy other than just like release it. Mm-hmm. Maybe I can like cultivate it, make it bigger, make it expand, and then do something with it, right? But I'm like, what the fuck are you gonna do with your energy? And I'm like, I don't know, I wanna practice because I can feel that thing I've been wanting to play with, right? And so, and then he was like very comfortably there. There was like no rush. It wasn't like I didn't feel pressured to get anywhere too soon. So I'm like, okay, let me play. Mm-hmm. And so as this orgasm is building and this energy is swelling within me, I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready to come. But instead of coming, I'm like, let me just pass it to him and see if he catches it. Because how else would I know? Like if it did anything, if I don't like, and like come all over the place, where would it go? And how would I know? Right? So I wanted to give it to him specifically. Okay, cool. So like it's coming there and I feel it. And I'm like, okay, here it goes. I'm about to go. And then I like inhale deeply and I just like pass it to him. And maybe like a second or two later, he just like stops. Like he's down there like, nom, 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 nom. And then he like comes up, right? And I'm looking down, I'm like, oh shit.
And you have come.
It worked.
Yeah, well, I didn't come, right? But it could have felt like that. It could have. It was more like sometimes like when you ejaculate, when you come and like you're pushing it out, this is more like bringing it in. It's like an ejaculation of a feeling. I can't really, like we would need a whole nother hour for that, okay? But yes, it feels like I'm moving that energy out of me into him. And then he comes up. So I'm like, oh shit, maybe he felt something, right? So I'm like, well, let me lay there. So he keep going, I want to like, let me play there a little bit, so he doesn't stop, right? And then he goes back down. So I'm like, okay, cool, we good. And as he's going back down, maybe like a minute or two later, he comes up, he's like, yo, babe, something ain't right. And I'm like, what you mean? Fuck you mean? Something ain't right. And I'm like, well, can you explain? Or, I feel short of breath. I'm having a hard time breathing. Like my heart is racing.
Baby having a heart attack.
He's like, can you take me to the emergency room?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, holy shit.
What the fuck?
I was like, to the ER, nigga, it's like 3 a.m. It's kind of cold outside. My pussy's soaking wet. You've got a job to finish here. Like, you want me to, and I'm like, okay. Cause I'm like, shit, am I responsible? Did I do something? Like, and I'm like, wow, like it worked, right? But like, fuck. Like, so anyway, put on the sweatpants, the hoodie, throw on some shoes, and I take him to the ER. And the whole way there, I'm like tripping, like, am I gonna tell this nigga what I did? Am I gonna let him know like I was experimenting? I definitely felt like the witchiest I've ever felt in my life, And then when we pull up, I'm like, do I drop you off and dip or do I stay? I went back home and got into bed and I was like, let me know what happened. Like, babe, I'm so sorry. Let me know that you're okay. And then he called the next morning and was like, yeah, they said I was having some kind of heart palpitations. They put me on the heart monitor and some kind of IV drip.
Oh,
it was a whole thing.
Oh my gosh. And then you left him at the hospital.
And I did.
She had to go figure out that energy.
It was pre-sacred pussy. I was a little bit afraid of my own power. I was like, holy shit. Did you kill this nigga?
That would have been
I guess
crazy.
you wouldn't want to stay
Do
there
you
for
tell
that.
him that you did this? Like to
No.
this day, I never said that.
You don't tell him.
I
'cause
never said it.
He gonna be like, what? We are sending the exorcist people to
Yeah.
your house.
But that's when I knew this pussy had power. I was like, yeah, girl.
I hope
crazy.
that everybody dives into their pussy power because it really could change your life. And you don't have to apply it to sex. Apply it to whatever you want. Try it and send us some cocktails or fails or ER stories. Divine Soul, where can everybody find you? What you got going on? If they want to book a session with you, how do they do that?
Absolutely. You can find me on my website. I am Divine Soul. I am divinesoul.com. That is DIVINESOL. Soul like the sun. You also can find me on Instagram at I am Divine Soul. I'm working to be on TikTok. I have a little TikTok page. Y'all go blow that TikTok up, actually. Go blow that TikTok up. Come see about me. And I actually have a little offer that I would like to present to your viewers.
Okay.
I have a freebie because I just released my membership. I'm so excited. So, you know, as we talked about earlier, learning to create a life of your dreams isn't always the easiest thing to do, but it is so beneficial and so valuable, you know? So once we are able to identify our emotional blockages and can move through that, we can begin to manifest, like literally become a vibrational match to what we want and not a match to like what we need to learn, not a match to our bullshit, but a match to like the most pure parts of ourselves. We can embody that through dance. And so I have a program called the Dance Alchemy Academy. And it is literally teaching women how to dance their dreams into reality. And so your guests get a freebie. If you guys could just DM me on Instagram, again, it's I am Divine Soul, and DM me the word cocktails.
I love
and
that.
I got a little
Is this a virtual class or in
It's
person?
a virtual membership.
So that's for anybody then. That's really
everybody.
exciting.
That's for everybody.
I'm
Yeah.
going to join.
Yeah.
We'll put your description for your website, your website in the description of the show. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Divine
so
Soul.
much.
Thank
for
y'all
coming
so
and
much.
sharing great energy.
This was so fun.
It was fun. It was educational. Educational. That's a word, right? Yeah.
Educational. Yeah. Okay, you guys, make sure you are following us on Instagram. We are at Cocktales Podcast. I'm at Kiki Said So.
I'm at Coffee Bean D.
And until next week, you guys,
Goodbye.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.
Population.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Wait on the drive. Bye. 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 Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.
Population.
Goodbye. Bye. 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 On the track. Wait on the track. I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.
Population.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Wait on the drive. Bye. Bye. Bye.